slot, but we can only use soft compounds this time. Is that correct?
That's what it says on the page, at least.
Yep.
Yeah.
We haven't done that before.
Does ads know?
I'll let them know.
Mike Troy.
You there, Steve? Just need another minute, mate. I forgot to feed the cat. Good to go.
No, that's all right. No, I'm just going to be watching on Twitch. Just running a bit late tonight. Hey.
He'll have the delay, won't he?
Oh well.
Kiwi, do you want to swap it over so I can restart the weekend?
Okay, guys, welcome to race 2 of round 7 from Simmons Plains in Tasmania. Guys are just starting to grid up now.
Yeah, Steve, it'll be interesting to see what happens between Brett and Reese here in this race.
Absolutely, and we've got a Monster Energy 1-2 the front at the moment. Dan, who nicked the win from Reese and Brett in the last race. Let's see what happens on this one.
Oh, look, I think you'll see Brett will get a cracking start like he did in race 1.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I'll be interested to see. Here we go. Countdown to the lights.
Oh, Dan's been left sleeping on the
Oh, and he's got caught out, but he's slotted into second, and Reese is trying to come through as well. This is going to be a problem into turn 1. No, they're okay. They've made it through. Oh, and Gavin's gone off. Gavin Cox's gone off there.
Yeah, you can see there Dan was caught sleeping and he's moved the car a little bit to the right and made a real headache there for Reese.
Yeah, and then Reese has just just passed him without a problem from the looks of it. Well, that's a bit that was a bit easy, to be honest.
Yeah, look, he's definitely got him under brakes there into the hairpin.
Yeah, just watching the replay there, he just got a better exit off the corner and annihilated him down the straights even before he got to the braking.
Now, this is a compulsory pit stop race, so it'll be interesting. I think you'll find that the strategy will be hards to begin with and come home strong with the softs.
Actually, there was some discussion about that earlier. The rules for this round, for some reason, say you must use the softs only, which seems a bit strange, but 55 laps and only 2 sets of softs.
Well, Brett showed everyone how it's done, but in saying that, after 35, he had no right tyre left.
That's the thing, he seemed to have something, but Reese, being the consummate professional he is, was just a complete sleeper and just let Brett get on with it and think that he had the grip left, when in fact Reese had plenty left despite a couple of incidents.
Oh, look, you got to say, Reese's pace in race 1 on the hards was incredible. It really was.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal pace. And we're settling into the sort of the normal routine here. We've got Clark in first with a 1 second gap over Reese in second. Dan Stevens coming up in third with 2 seconds back. Then we've got Craig Thompson in the 21 Ford Falcon in third with 2 seconds behind.
It's quite interesting. We've got a virtual carbon copy of the grid positionings as of race 1, considering they were pretty much turned around.
Yeah, the cream rises to the top, isn't it?
Oh, very, very much so.
Got a few incidents going on further down the field. Brad is out from the looks of it, so let's just watch the replay of that. Yeah, Brad is out.
And that's a shame. He was very good in race 1.
Yeah, just watching what actually happened there. From Clyde's car going around, and Brad's nowhere to be seen, so obviously something major has happened there.
Just having a bit of a look at Adam Shaw here, and he's having a bit of problems there with that turn 1 braking. He seems to be, the tail just wants to come around and say hello on each side.
Yeah, just watching him there live, as you say. Yeah, he's having a few issues with that one.
I also must apologise to our viewers if my speech seems a bit mumbled. I've just recently had dental surgery, so yeah, I apologise if I come across hard to understand.
Not to worry, mate, you're going to come across to the Australians and the Kiwis a lot better than I am.
We've got no problems understanding you, Steve. Don't worry about that. Oh, and there goes Adam Shaw. He's locked the rears again into turn 6. He really doesn't like that turn.
Yeah, he's having so many issues. It's almost like there's an inherent car problem or something with the brakes there. He's going to drive back out again. Yeah, he is. He's going to keep going. This is a long race, though. You've got to remember, Adam just needs to get his head down, knock some laps together, and see what he can come up with.
Just needs to not overdrive the car, find himself a rhythm, and then maybe push on a little bit harder each time until he finds that limit and then knows, okay, that's where it's at, and we'll just stick there and hit that groove, hit your apex, hit your braking markers, and just bring it home in one piece.
Yeah, and we just moved back to the lead battle here. Morris is closed right back up on Clark. I mean, I don't know about you, Troy, but if I was in Reese's car at this moment in time. I would not want Brett to dictate the race to me like he did in the last one. I want to get cleanly past and passed early.
I don't know if you really want to pass him. You might want to try and push the issue and wait for him to make a mistake, or just let him make those little errors, because when someone's in chasing, just in saying that, he's a big move down the inside.
Oh,
He's outbraked himself. Oh, Reese. It looked like he had a big move down the inside, and again, Brett just seemed to move that car over to the left at the wrong time.
Problems again on exit there. He almost, him and Craig Thompson almost came together. That's such a shame. But as I was saying, Reese was obviously listening to the commentary channel there. He decided that it was time to go, and go he went.
Yeah, and in saying that, Adam Shaw's retired as well. It's a shame.
Such a shame, 2 retirements already, 10 and 11. Brad and Adam, who are normally 2 of the faster drivers. And what's happened to Reese? Reese is off again. Oh no! What a horrible round.
Yeah, he's obviously, something's gotten in his head, and he's lost his rhythm. He just needs to knuckle down and find that rhythm again and stick to it.
Yeah, just watching the replay, he's braked on the 100-meter board, and the car snapped to the right. So that's interesting. That shouldn't have happened. Yeah,
you can see he's quite upset with himself there. Coming out of turn 3, he had a little bit of a tank slapper, and he's really now on the button. He's really pushing that car hard. He knows he's got some ground to make up.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's the same story, isn't it? If I was the team manager, I'd be on the radio to him. Calm down. 55-lap race. You're only 6 laps in. Everybody's got to make at least 1 pit stop. Calm down. Take it easy. Get back up there. Get on it.
Definitely. And in these kind of longer races, it's not one in the first 5-10 laps. It's whether you're there at the last 5 laps.
You're exactly right on that. And just looking back in 3rd position, Craig Thompson's having a blinding race, but he's got his mirrors full of the other Team Kiwi car of Don. Don seems to be picking up the pace. He's in front of Gavin. Gavin, who finished 4th in the previous race. These two are having an awesome battle. It's looking pretty good here.
Yeah, he definitely is, and Don's got to be careful there. I just noticed into the hairpin, he had a bit of a turn left, turn right, have a look. He needs to make sure he stays straight. It gets that car stopped before he starts trying to turn it. Too much movement, you get out of the car, and you're going to lock those rears.
Yeah, and if you keep locking the rears, you're going to end up with no tires too early.
Yeah, I think the fact that Don's got a car in front of him, he's really pushing that car hard, because you saw him take a really tight line there on turn 6 and almost ran wide.
And Thompson in the 21 locked the wheel into turn 2 there, and Don's right on the back of him. He should be getting a nice draft down this final straight now. Is he going to make a move? It looks like he's going to go for the inside coming up to the hairpin. Yep, and he's...
This will be interesting.
Nope,
no, he's backed out of it.
Good thinking there, good thinking.
Yeah, I don't think you would have been in the position to make that move safely. I think you would have found that the Kiwi racing car wouldn't have known he was there and turned down on top of him. So good driving.
Yeah, I think good driving there by Don as a true professional there. He knew when he was beaten and just backed out of it rather than shove it down there and hope for the best. Possibly something his teammate might have wanted to look at.
Oh, he's had a massive moment. He's off at 6 and 7. That will pretty much ruin his chances of a podium. Yeah,
but once again, guys, it's a long race. Do you know what has happened there? I've just seen it. He's taken too much curb on the entry, and it's upset the car and then bounced it off in effect and pushed him off the road. So needs to calm down, take it together. These Team Kiwi cars are having too many issues.
And that's what I was saying to you on the previous lap. He's pushing it hard. He took a lot of inside curb, almost pushed it wide, but this time he was obviously still had some brake applied when he's hit the curb. Yeah, I think he's a bit unlucky there, but he was trying to take too much on the entry there, so he's unfortunately been punished for it. And now the Team Kiwi cars are running together, so let's see if they can get their heads down and get back up the front. Look, now's the time that you can talk as a team and pluck your way through the field together and make a push for the podium. Well, exactly, yeah. I've just looked. Reese's best lap, he's ran a 52.8. On the last lap. His best lap was a 52.7. He is 18 seconds behind and closing at a rate of knots on Gavin in 4th, so he should be back up there pretty soon. Yeah, you would expect so, but he's just got to be careful not to take too much out of these tyres.
Well, the thing is, he's going to throw this set away at some point, so his tyre management, does he go hard now and then conserve the end?
Well, he's just got to try and hope that even with him going hard as he is, that the front runners pit around the same time. Otherwise, he's going to be in a really poor position at the back end of this race.
Exactly, yeah, and just looking at first position, Brett is nicely cruising along. He's in the 53.2, so he's unhurried. His teammate is 5.7 seconds behind in the 53.8. Craig Thompson, the 53.4s, is 11 seconds behind. Gavin Cox, 13 seconds behind, running in the 53.6s. So the top four are all running in the low to mid 53s, and then you've got Morris obviously running in the 52s.
Yeah, he's a class above. He really is.
Actually, looking at this lap, he's had a bit of a moment. He's lost a second. So yeah, he's obviously trying to push too hard.
Yeah, he's pushing that car, and the tyres are clearly getting away from him.
Just go in car with Reese and see how that car is actually behaving. Oh, do you know what? I think he's got a flat spot. There's a lot of bouncing around there on the straight.
Yeah, I've just jumped into with Reese now. I'm having a look at the G meter. The car, it's okay. It's definitely bouncing around a bit, but I wouldn't say flat spot. We'll have a look down the straight and I'll get back to you about it.
Yeah, he's done a 54.03 on that lap, which is way off the pace he's been. I mean, yeah, look at it now on the straight. It looks like there's a bit of bounce in there.
Yeah, that G meter is bouncing around a little bit. I wouldn't say the car's entirely happily.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's potentially got a flat spot when he locked up going into the hairpin when he tried to pull the move on Clark.
Very big possibility. It's very easy to lock a tyre on, especially in that hairpin.
Well, now we've got the interesting scenario of a 1-2 for Team SRT with Clark and Stevens in 2. I know from the team briefing previously that it was arranged that Dan would maximise his points, so it would be interesting to see if Brett lifts off. I didn't believe that rubbish in the first interview about Dan being able to race up there and pass Brett. Don't believe it for a second.
No, you can't. I mean, when you clearly see Brett pull over to the left and virtually have no accelerator and Dan just blow straight past him, there was team orders.
Well, exactly. I mean, why do drivers, why did they come out with some of the rubbish they do? Sometimes it's just, you pulled over. It is a team sport at the end of the day as well.
Oh, that's exactly right. And you're not going to gain any respect from other drivers if you're not going to tell the truth.
Well, exactly, yeah. So, looking back at racing fifth now, he's got it down to 17.8 seconds, and he ran a 52.8, which is a tenth off his fastest lap on that last lap, so if there was a flat spot, it's not bothering him.
No, definitely not. And he's banking consistent lap times. He's always there and thereabouts in the high 52s, so I think that's probably a safe pace to be going. You're still going to be straining the tyres, but not to the extreme that he could have when obviously we saw him clearly drop into the 51s. Yeah,
well, how's this for a scenario? Reese has just ran a 53 dead. Brett is running in the 53.8s at the moment, and Dan in the 54 ones.
Yeah, look, another 10, 15 laps here, you could be banging on the rear bumpers.
Exactly. I'm just hoping the Team Kiwi have been working on their pit stops as well, because I know SRT, for example, have spent quite a bit of time on working on pit stops, getting in and out as fast as possible. Little time on the track. Something that's often overlooked is how much time you can lose as a driver on entry and exit of pits.
Oh, definitely. You want to be braking and hitting that limiter right on that white line, not before it, and definitely not after it.
Exactly. You've also got the fact of when you're coming into the pits, these tyres are done, they're coming off, so it doesn't matter how you come in, so long as you come in as hard as you can, get on the brakes, get it stopped and down to the pit lane speed limit, and get through.
Well, that's it. If you want to bang on the brakes and lock up all four, as long as you don't spear off, who cares? Well, exactly. They're going off. They're gone.
Exactly. They're in the bin afterwards. I mean, you think about how much people pay development costs, setup costs and stuff to try and get a second or two of pace over a race. I mean, and a driver can actually lose that by not paying attention on the pits.
Well, that's exactly right.
Something's happened to Craig Thompson. He's dropping down. Craig, who was in third, has just had a massive spin in turn 1. Kept it together, and he's got stuck out in the kitty litter a little bit. He's just come back on, and Morris is passed up to 4th.
Now the fun will begin with Reese now getting a taste of that podium. He'll be really pushing hard.
If you just switch to the live feed here, we've got Gavin Cox right in front of Reese. Reese's car looks like he's going to drive straight through you. It's the attitude of the car is phenomenal.
It looks very stable. Reese looks very composed. He seems to have got that car going exactly in the direction he wants it. Oh, he's had a few little looks and he's really being held up here.
I think he's just trying to unsettle Gavin, though. I'm sure Gavin's experience off race, he's not coming through. Oh, and he's almost in the barrier. What an exit! Is this going to work?
And that's what I've said about Reese. He's pushing. He uses every millimetre of track.
Absolutely phenomenal. He's up to 3rd position without any issues.
Yeah, but he's got another bite of him here. He'll slip in the slipstream and make a pass into the 6-7 complex.
Yeah, I think Gavin's going to realise that Reese is that much faster. He's just going to back out of it a little bit. Yeah, and he does.
Clever driving.
Yeah, he's going to realise he's going to lose too much time. Let Reese go and let him see what he got. And phenomenally, Reese is down to 17 seconds behind now, so he's even picked up time with that pass.
That's interesting because he's obviously lost some time somewhere because he was only 17 seconds to 3 laps ago.
Exactly, yeah. But I mean, he's down to 16.9 now. Dan Stevens is 9 seconds behind Brett, so that's 7 seconds up the road. He's perfectly feasible. He can be back in second by the pit stops.
We've got an issue here with Tanky. He seems to be off the track, and I can't exactly see where.
I've just looking as well. I've just seen Craig Thompson is off again and is now down in 6th position, but it looks like he's going for the pits on this one.
Yeah, and Don's the first of the Team Kiwi cars to make his stop.
Yes, we just watched that pit stop. He's just exiting pits now, and he's come out in 8th position.
So he's dropped out 2 positions there, so you can roughly say it's probably a 2-position drop with a stop.
Exactly. I am super impressed with Morris here. He's back up in 3rd. He's down to 16, 4 seconds behind now, and picking up time all the way around. I think if SRT were going to make a switch around, they should have done it by now because they're going to be full of Morris shortly.
Definitely. I dare say that they're not going to try and pull a team move this time because we're all awake up to it in race 1.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're getting the information passed through to them just how fast Morris is. He's took a second off Clark on this lap alone.
Yeah, he's got speed to burn, and he's right up now on the bumper of Dan Stevens. So, that was the Kiwi racing car again.
It's gone off again. That's unfortunate for Craig. Yeah, I'm just watching Reese. His lap times are phenomenal. He's dropped in a 52.8 on that lap. Only a couple of tenths off his previous best.
Yeah, look, he's really driving the tyres off that thing, and it's great to watch. I'm glued to his screen.
Yeah, me too. Clark appears to have picked up the pace a little bit on this lap. They're running like for like on this from the looks of it. Oh, except Reese has took 4 tenths out of Clark on the 2nd sector alone.
That's impressive. Where's he making the time? Because you've only got the exit out of the hairpin and the long straight, so he's clearly got phenomenal drive in that car.
Let me give you some sector times there, Don. An 18.9 for Clark on the 1st sector, 19.1 for Reese. And now here's where it gets interesting. An 18.4 in the 2nd sector and 18.1 for Reese. And then he did a 15.8 in the 3rd sector compared to 16.3 Clark.
You can understand the times in the third sector, but like I said, where is he grabbing this time? It's got to be clearly he's got the best drive out of that car.
I mean, they're matching each other on this lap, for example. The first sector, Reese seems to always be a little bit slower, but that second and third sector, he just blitzes it.
Clearly, Brett's got the car set up with some softer suspension there just to handle the rises through into turn 1 and 2, and Reese might be a little bit stiffer, which gives him that better drive out of the turn.
Yeah, and he's just dropped in a 53-2 compared to a 54-2 Brett Clark on that lap. I mean, if SRT were going to make the switch, they should have done, because he's now just 4 seconds behind Dan Stevens in third.
And look, he's taken over nearly a second out of Brett's lead there, so he's really on a mission here. So, look, 4 or 5 laps, you're going to see him banging on the door.
This is a phenomenal drive, phenomenal. Sure, he made the mistake, but that's a sign of an awesome driver. When you get back up, get on the wheel and go for it.
Well, that's exactly right. And as I said when he first made the mistake to you, Steve, all he needed to do was get his head down, find his rhythm, hit his markers, and the car will do the rest of the work.
Look at that. He's leaving nothing on the table. He was sideways out that final corner on the straight. And how did he correct it? He put his foot down.
Ah, Craig Lowndes, eat your heart out.
Exactly, yeah. Keep her loose and wide.
It reminds me of the 1991 qualifying lap for Peter Brock at Mount Panorama. Into Skyline there, out of McPhillamy. He just had it sideways and he kept his foot to the floor. It was brilliant to watch.
It's awesome when you've got that type of car control available to you, isn't it? You can just keep your foot down and go for it. And looking at that now, he's lost a little bit of time on this lap, actually. He's dropped half a second back.
That'll be that moment there out of turn 7, because he would have lost a lot of speed and into the first part of the sector of 1 there.
Yeah, so we've just switched over to Stevens now in second position. He's 12 seconds behind Clark. And Reese is now 3 seconds behind, so it'll be interesting to see how this stacks up very shortly. Is someone going to pit soon?
Well, we're on lap 24 of 55. I dare say you probably see him around the 30 mark, 35 mark.
I think, looking at this right now, if I was Reese, pit. He's losing time now. He's lost a second overall in the last lap or so. He lost 5 tenths to Brett.
Well, clearly the tyres are past their use by date. He's overdriven them, and they're now ready to see their big tyre yard in the sky.
Yeah, and he's still continuing around. Yeah, that car is all over the place. I've just watched it. Gavin Cox in the background is just shot into the pits. Dan Stevens is also in the pits, which is a bit of a shock. I didn't think that would have happened that soon. I thought he was fine. So just watch this pit stop on board.
He'll get the advantage of the undercut here, because he'll come out on fresh boots, and Reese will be really struggling with these ones.
Yeah, and Stevens is stopped right now. We're just sitting in the car with him. Sit off the jacks, get a little bit of fuel, gas her up and go. Yep. There we go, on the pit exit. He's still in third position.
And yeah, we've got Reese coming into turn 6 now. The car seems a little bit more stable this time around. Let's have a look at the exit out of 7.
Yeah, his last lap time was 54th.
No, forget 7.
He's pitted.
Reese is in. So he's seeing Dan Stevens go in, and clearly we've seen the car all over the place. So now it's time for him to put some fresh boots on and have another crack.
This is going to be one hell of a race to see where they come out. Reese is literally just stopping now. Where is Dan? Dan's coming up the back straight.
Reese is off the jacks. Just wait, and he's off. He's out of the bay. Where have we got Dan, Steve?
Dan's coming around the final corner now. He's coming around the last left-hander onto start-finish straight. Interestingly, his teammate's right in front of him. What's happened there?
Well, looks like Reese is going to hold position here.
Reese has got him. Oh yes, he has just about.
Oh,
awesome,
sensational
awesome.
driving.
He's got them both.
This is going to be brilliant. This could be a very big moment in the race. He's managed to jump Dan Stevens in the pits, cancelled the undercut, forget about that, and now he's actually managed to stay in front of Brett Clark. This could be on in the back end.
Well, that's the thing, is Clark's got his pit stop to make. He needs to stop now. If I was him, I see Reese popping out after a pit stop in front of me. I'm getting off the track. I don't know what's going on here. He looks like he's slowing his teammate down as well, which is a bit unusual.
Look, Brett's tyres have got to be gone. He's got to be coming in this time. Really, I can't see him staying out any longer. He is. He's staying out. That is a stupid move. It really is. Now, Reese has got heat in those tyres. He can now start putting a gap on, closing down the gap between the time that Brett stops and his exit.
Oh, exactly, yeah. What's going on? I don't understand Clark as well. He's holding up his own teammate as well. He's a distraction for his teammate who needs to get after Reese.
At this point in time, Dan's realistically the only person with a chance to keep up with Morris. Brett needs to either put it in the pits, get his fresh tyre, or just move out of the way.
This is the most bizarre strategy I've ever seen. I think at this point, see your competitor come out in front of you on fresh boots and pull away. It's time to drop off, get new tyres on and go, isn't it?
You would think so. And let's see. No, he's in this time.
We go.
Brett Clark's in this time.
That's possibly a lap too late, but I know Reese has got quite a gap to make up. So let's see what Reese has just done. A 52.5, the fastest lap of the race on that lap.
Oh, that is phenomenal. I'll just watch Brett Clark here in the pits. You keep an eye on Reese and let's see how we go.
Yeah, I've just got Reese now, who's gone into the hairpin at the back straight. He's still on record pace from the looks of it.
And we've got Brett just going up into the air now. Front's down, rear's down, just wait for the fuel.
Okay, so we've got Reese on the back straight into the right-hander, coming up to the first of the left-handers.
Brett's out.
Okay, so Reese is into the first of the left-handers on the complex, coming up to the second left-hander now and onto the start-finish straight.
Yeah, no, Brett's got a clear start. He's now in the turn 3.
Okay, good. Let's see what the gap is then. The gap is 12 seconds. That's 12 seconds. Reese made up 3 seconds on that pit stop run, believe it or not.
And it's not over yet, because Brett's got some lap traffic to get round with cold tyres.
Yeah, Reese has got it down to 11 seconds already. What's happening with Brett there? He looks like he's got stuck up in that traffic.
Well, it's not just that, Steve, but he's on cold tyres. Reese's are up to temp, up to pressure. He can go hard. Brett's still got to get the car to that stage.
Yeah, so let's see what lap times they can rip out of it now. Yeah, so overall that whole pit stop strategy, Brett lost 3 seconds to Reese, 3 seconds.
Interesting there. Don just moved steps to the side there and let Brett through. I would have been maybe slightly slowing down my pace just a little bit.
Yeah, there seems to be a bit of a disconnect in Team Kiwi. They don't really seem to run as a team. Not certainly what you see with SRT, where the two drivers are very connected and aware of what each other's doing on the track. Potentially something that Team Kiwi could look at for the future. Definitely
so. I think they need to have better communication between them. SRT, that could be the reasoning behind their success, is the fact that the drivers do work well together. Whereas Team Kiwi, they seem to be very you and me. It's not just us.
Yeah, it's almost run like 2 separate entries under the one name. Yeah, they definitely did work on teamwork there, because if that was an SRT car, I reckon it would have slowed the leader up a little bit more to give that little bit more time for him to catch up.
You would have found he would have made it a lot harder, not just a sidestep. He would have driven the car as per normal and made him find the gap, not give it to him.
Unbelievable, Troy. Lap 31 of a 55-lap race, and first and second are both throwing in lap records. Reese has got the lap record down from a 52.8 to a 52.4, and Brett has thrown in a 52.8 on that lap as well.
Clearly, again, it's SRT, their structure as a team. They're obviously on the radio, letting him know that, Reese is throwing down these laps. You need to step the pace up. So that's what he's gone out and done. Now let's see who's going to be able to maintain that pace.
And he's just dropped in a 52.485 on that lap, and Reese has dropped in a 52.8, so he lost a little bit of time on that. So seesawing backwards and forwards. I just wish they were closer together on track.
Oh, look, it would have made for some brilliant viewing, but unfortunately, with that moment early in the race, it just robbed us of a brilliant view.
It did, but as we noticed last time, Reese seems to be able to pull laps and keep tyres, so we know that Brett was out of tyres by the last 2 laps, so let's see what happens. It's a similar length of stint in this one. 25, 26 laps they should be running in this stint.
Very much so. Now, just back through the grid, you got Don and Clyde here having a battle for 6th and 7th. Now, Clyde's right up on his bumper, so it'll be interesting to watch these two.
Yeah, we just switched to that there. Don's obviously made a pit stop. Clyde's also made a stop from the looks of it as well. And Clyde's, oh, that's not a place to make a move, is it?
You definitely don't want to be throwing it down the inside there. That's not the place to put the car.
Ooh, I think Don's obviously lifted off a little bit earlier, possibly caught Clyde out. See what happens on this one. They're right at it. See if we can go on board with Don. Don's got quite a bit of oversteer there from the looks of things.
Yeah, he just doesn't seem to have the drive out of that car that Reese, his teammate Reese, does.
Yeah, so we're flat in 6th with Don, coming up to the final sort of left-hander, brakes just before the 100 metre, but he slows that car down a lot. Wonder is he suffering with tyres there? Yeah, he's definitely slowing it down a lot.
That's interesting, but in saying that, he was one of the first to stop.
Oh, and he nearly lost it there, and we look like we've got Reese up the back of them. Yeah, we do. We've got Reese coming through lap traffic.
This could be interesting, whether Reese going to be able to make a clean pass. Yeah, Clyde's just sidestepped there. Now, the teammates are together. Will Don make it as easy for Reese as he did for Brett?
Yes, he did. It was close though. It was close though.
Oh, jeez. These two, you could watch these two for ages, as teammate calamities.
Exactly, yeah, they really need to work on it. I think that's one thing that this championship series seems to have forgotten about a little bit, is the team element. Two is always better than one, and particularly if you work well together, you can get plenty of benefits for one or both cars on the track.
Oh, very much so, very much so. I mean, you got to think, there's a Constructors' Championship there, or what would be bragging rights as a team championship.
Well, yeah, in effect, we've only got 3 real teams in this. We've got SRT, Team Kiwi, and we've got the flat-out Rampant Lions of Adam Shaw and Dave Clark. They're obviously having a few problems at the moment. This round in particular has been disastrous. Dave's had a technical problem before he even got to the track, and Adam's obviously having problems all day long, so bit of a shame there, but yeah, there's definitely the team element gives you that advantage, and SRT are definitely showing a clean pair of heels to everybody at the moment.
Very much so. Now, the advantage to having the team there is, and oh, hang on, Don's gone in again. He's in the pits again, so clearly those tyres are shot.
See, that's the other thing, one of the Team Kiwi cars is running in 2nd, potentially should be running in 1st, or at least right up the back of 1st. And the 2nd car is struggling, and Don is not a bad driver as well. I mean, I've run on track against Don. Don's hard and fast when he needs to be. It's just they need to work together and get the setup for both cars just right.
And that's what I was just about to say before Don ducked off into the pits there, is clearly as a team you want to have at least one driver able to throw down some consistent laps in the time leading up to the race, get the setup nailed, and then have a talk to everyone. Hope your driving style is the same, and then if you expect the same thing out of the car, then share your setup. One guy can do all the work, and the team can then benefit from it.
Well, that's the thing. Even last year, I was in the 2nd SRT car, and Brett was my teammate when he won his first championship, and he was significantly faster than me. You're talking 2 to 3 seconds per lap, but we would work together on my setup coming up to it. We'd talk through it. What's the car doing? How's it feel? Brett would go on board and watch, where I was having difficulties, then we'd work a little bit of the setup to get my car right, and we'd end up with two completely diverse setups for the cars, but both cars were able to work for each driver as well, which I think is something missing a little bit.
Definitely so. I mean, if you can get your faster driver to get his setup right, then you can use that as a base setup for your second driver. Jump, as you said, jump on board, have a look, go around, have a look, see what he needs, and then adjust your settings as need be.
Exactly. I mean, these cars were totally alien to me as a driver. I mean, if you give me a GT3 car, a standard front-wheel drive turn car, anything, I'll be thereabouts, right up the front. So it's quite good when you've got someone else in your team who's willing to work with you, adjust things for yourself, you know, to get the feel. It's fantastic, and I think Team Kiwi definitely need to sit down and have a look at that.
Look, it'd be interesting to see where the breakdown is, because earlier today as I said to you, I was throwing down laps and Reece jumped on and he was very quick to throw me a setup to see how I was going and how I felt with it. And I think we could, he could have spent some time working with just doing his own thing, but instead he spent some time helping.
Oh,
there's been a massive collision! Oh my god!
Oh, as
what has happened there with Don?
Unbelievable! That's, you don't know where. Oh my god, I've just watched the replay. Don spun off, pulled back onto the track and waited. Reece hasn't known he's there and has just gone straight into the side of him.
The question we're now got to ask is how much damage does that cause to Reece's car? This could be the end of his race. It's a very unfortunate thing.
Well, let's get on board and see what it looks like. Again, it's simple. It's communication, team communication.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, even if we can just have a spotter for the team that would be out there, they need to really work on their teamwork here, this team.
Well, I know from being an SRT driver previously, we have a team channel as well, so we have a button on our steering wheel which will talk to the other team driver as well. I mean, it's a phenomenal ability to have. It's there and available to everybody else, so in that situation, that would have been perfect.
And that's exactly right, it would have been, because Don could have called spin, turn 6, and Reece would have known, hang on, I'm coming up to turn 6, I better look out for him.
Exactly, lift off. I mean, Reece obviously doesn't have any damage because he's just dropped a 52.8 on that lap to Brett Clark's 53.3. However, he's now 13 seconds behind when he was only 8 seconds behind.
That's a massive, massive shame. We've got only 15 laps to go, so it's going to be if he comes away with the win, it will be driver of the day without a shadow of a doubt.
Absolutely, it's such a shame. I mean, Reece has done everything to not win this race.
I don't think you could try any harder not to win a race than what Reece has tonight.
Exactly, I know they weren't all his own fault apart from that first one, but I mean, when the luck rolls your way, it really rolls, doesn't it?
Well, as they say, Steve, when it rains, it absolutely pours.
Exactly, yeah. So, looking at the top 5, we've got Brett Clark in first. He's running in the mid-53s, which is a safe pace. We've got Reece Morrison second, running a 52.3 on the last lap, believe it or not. Has got the gap down to 12 seconds again. Dan Stevens in third, running 53.8, 26 seconds behind. And then Gavin Cox in fourth, 33 seconds behind.
It was quite interesting there. You could see Don just in front. Reece has caught a glimpse of Don's car and he's backed it right off into turn 6-7.
Such a shame. They need to get it together. They really do. They work together, not against each other.
That's it. I mean, yeah, okay, you're one person in one car, but is there a team? It's still a team sport.
Do you know what? Brett Clark is playing with people. He's just dropped a 52.7 in on that lap, just obviously to check that he can still do it.
Yeah, just making sure the car's got some pace there. I'll just throw out a lazy 52. Oh yeah, as you do.
Exactly, yeah. Most people would be dreaming of it. There's only 3 people in the 52s for the whole race, and that is Brett Clark first, Reece Morrison second, and believe it or not, in fourth place Gavin Cox threw out a 52.8 for his best lap.
Beautiful. And Don's had another moment there into 6 and 7 with, again, Reese right behind him. And you can see these two, Reese is very tentative into that complex if he's got a glimpse of Don's car.
Unbelievable. Teammates, they need to work together. This is pathetic.
It's the young and the restless here, Steve. We could keep going on for days and days about the same story.
That's true, yeah. And I'm just looking now, we've got Dan Stevens is on his own in third. Craig Thompson, who for a few spins would have been the guy in third, is catching him back up again. Although being a lap down. Interesting to see what happens with this one.
Very much so, but I tell you what, look, you still got to take your hat off to Reese. He's put a phenomenal drive with his car.
Well, he's absolutely. I would say would be a candidate for driver of the day, apart from that mistake into the hairpin. I mean, you've got to take that off him slightly, because he did at the end of the day outbrake himself and get over enthusiastic.
Very much so, very much so. I mean, look, you take out Brett Clark's tyre incident and that questionable second movement into the braking zone in the last lap, and you could have had Reese as a race 1, and I dare say that incident would not have happened in race 2.
Yeah, Reese would have got off from pole. He did actually, looking back at the start, he made a phenomenal start. He got Dan Stevens straight away, so yeah, he would have been gone. Such a shame, but that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Very true, but saying that, if he did get such a phenomenal positional start in race 2, would we still be talking as much about Reese as we are now?
No, I think we'd probably been ignoring him because he would have been long gone.
Either that, or we would have been glued up the front with the old Reese and Brett show again.
Absolutely, it's the one-man show today. But I tell you what, though, for all the incidents that Reese has had, he is holding down second with a good 15-second gap back to third position, so it's doing well. Yeah,
he's throwing out. Now, I've just gone into the timing monitor here, and we're looking. Adam Shaw retired with a suspension issue.
Such a shame. Yeah, there's definitely flat out team have had problems on the weekend. Obviously, Dave never made it to the track. Adam's had a horrendous race